hands are huge. I don't know how to talk without my hand.
That's what they saying.
Who said that?
I am.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a tier list. I haven't done one of these before actually. I did my top 5 books of the year, but I want to give some love to all the other books I read this year. So I have the all 65 of them listed right here, and we're just gonna go in the tier list. Top to bottom, we got Mastery, Must Read, Good Stuff, Not a Priority to be Read, Don't Bother, and Trash. And then also, the closer they are to the green masterpiece thing, the better it is. So say it's like this, that means I think this one's the best masterpiece, second best, third best. If you care to see me talk more in depth about these books, my top 5 video is right here. So check that out if you want to see me go more in depth. Just grab one at random. Let's see. Fulgrim. Okay. A lot of 40k books on this list, just a warning. I'm not going to like spoil anything for any of the books either, but um, might help if you're a little bit familiar with the 40k setting just because I read so many of their books, but it's not necessary. Fulgrim, 5th book in the Horus Heresy series. I really like this one a lot, especially because you get to see some Iron Hands, which I'm kind of becoming a fan of. I know a lot of people don't like Ferrus Manus, but I kind of like him. And seeing Fulgrim's descent and the Legion's descent as well, just really good. I don't know if I'd say it's a must read. I'm gonna say good stuff because must read is like, you know, if you don't read this one, you're not gonna miss too much from the heresy besides the Fulgrim stuff. But he's not even. Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to get too much from the 40k. I'm gonna start talking about lore, but yeah, good stuff. Next, This Is Water, David Foster Wallace. This is actually a commencement speech, but I'm putting it under good stuff. I would put it under must read, but it's so short, and I think it's trying to convey like using kindness in your everyday life and stuff. I think that's done a lot better in How to Win Friends and Influence People. Influence People by I think it's Daniel Carnegie. I never remember the name, but yeah, I just think since it's so short, it's good stuff, but it's not a must read. All right, let's just get our first masterpiece out of the way. The Hobbit, obviously, incredible journey to go on. Tolkien really outdid himself with that one. I still haven't read the Lord of the Rings books, but The Hobbit was incredible. Finally read that this year. Really glad I did. Let's go. Let's go Hellmouth next. Hellmouth, Christian Giles, short stories, like 40 pages. It's on Kindle Unlimited, so if you want to check this one out, it's free. I don't know why I'm always promoting Kindle Unlimited like they pay me. Um, I'm gonna say not a priority TBR. Now this doesn't mean it's bad. It's just like if you don't have anything to read right now, check it out. But if you got books on your list, don't bother. It was really good. It was like a medieval horror story kind of deal. It was fun, but I don't know if I'd really want to read more of his stuff after reading it, to be honest. But I did enjoy the little short journey we went on. All right, Galaxy in Flames. This is the 3rd Horus Heresy book. I gotta say that one's a must read. This was so much fun. There's so much action in this book. It's a little hard to recommend to people that don't read 40k. It is only the 3rd book, like the 3rd 40k book, period. Um, but you need to know a little bit about the background. But if you just like war and betrayal, and this is a, I talked about Hell's Reach in my top 5. This is another kind of siege book. It was really fun, and the characters are great in this one. 40k struggles sometimes with having likable characters, but this one slaps. All right, let's get into some manga. Oops, grabbed the wrong one. Attack on Titan anthology. This is like, it's not like canon. It's just like Attack on Titan stories. Some are done by like different artists, and they have little comic panels. I would say if you're like me, Attack on Titan's might be my favorite show. Period, but definitely my favorite anime. If you like Attack on Titan, that's a must read. It is so fun to see the characters being like goofy and kind of having some light elements to this world because it's normally such a dark story, and it's just cool to see the characters hanging out, Plus, some of the unique art styles are really cool, and as you can see from the little picture, the cover is awesome. All right, Fisherman, not a priority TBR. I've liked this book less and less. We did this one on the book club for October. This was our horror book along with Hellmouth. Uh, it wasn't it. I liked it in the moment, but I think there's just so much better horror out there. It's not a bad book, but the pacing is so bad that I think, if you've read a lot of horror, check it out. But if you're still new, there's definitely some better books you can see. Um, let's go with the oldest story in all of time, Gilgamesh. I would say it's good stuff. It's a fun read. I really enjoyed the story. The version I got has like a whole like class basically before the book even starts. I read a little bit of it and then I got bored and I just got straight to the story. But good read. A lot about accepting death and stuff. It was interesting. I didn't expect that much. I thought it was going to be more like hard to understand, but it's actually a really good book. Troy and Troy. It's the same book. I just downloaded the image twice. Well, two different images, but yeah. Troy. I almost want to put it in must read, but I'm gonna put it in good stuff. It was really good. It was a great book. It's about the Trojan War redone by Stephen Fry to make it more digestible, and that's why it's almost in a must read. I just think the story's kind of hard to follow, even though it is like pretty simplified. Maybe I just don't like the story of Troy that much. I don't know. Um, but I just found Mythos and Heroes, the other two Stephen Fry Greek myth books, to be more enjoyable. But still really good. It's just not, wouldn't put it in must read. Um, all right, let's get this controversial ass pick out of the way. Dune Messiah. I don't know why everyone hates this book. I really don't get it. I was dreading reading it. I didn't read it for like so long because I was like, oh, everyone says it sucks, and Dune is like one of my favorite books ever, and I was like, I just don't want to be disappointed. It's good. I don't know. I really don't know where all the hate comes from. I understand it's a big departure from the type of story that Dune was. It's I don't want to spoil anything, but it goes in a different direction, but I really enjoyed the story. I really don't know why people hate it so much. But yeah. Dune Messiah. Good stuff. Alright, let's get into some fun ones. Quidditch Through the Ages. This is a little Harry Potter short story. I would say not a priority. Maybe if you're like really into Harry Potter, maybe. But it was interesting. Got some fun facts about Quidditch and stuff, and like some team history and the rules. And I'm kind of into Harry Potter lore, so I enjoyed it. But I don't really care about Quidditch, to be honest. I don't find it that compelling. So yeah, not a priority. Not bad, but not great. Let's grab one here. Another 40K. The First Heretic. I think this one's Dan Abnett. I'm not sure. I can't see that closely. Some of these. So First Heretic. Ooh, it's hard. It's hard not to put it. It's got to be a must read. It's so good. If you're looking to get into 40K, I would honestly pick up The First Heretic. It's like the 30 or 20 something book in the series, but you don't need really any prior knowledge. If you just like Google 40K and read a passage about it, you'll be caught up enough. And this one goes into like a lot of kind of like deeper lore, and if you know a lot about the setting, like especially about the Emperor and stuff, you get a lot of good payoff. And even if you don't, it's just really cool seeing a fall to chaos that's this compelling. And Virgil Tall and the custodians, I really enjoyed all the characters in that one. I'm gonna put it at must read. Um, let's see, Recursion, Blake Crouch. This is the one Drake got me for Christmas for the Christmas video. Right here, I'm just promoting all kinds of crap. Not a priority. I don't. I don't know. Everyone loved these Blake Crouch books. I had never read them before. Um, it was okay. I like the concept so much, and maybe that's what carries it. But it's like once the concept starts getting executed, I just don't like the direction he goes with it. Yeah, not bad in any way, I would say, but it's not like blowing my mind. I kind of want to read Dark Matter. I said I wouldn't, but I heard Dark Matter and Wayward Pines are even better, so kind of makes me want to read them. I don't know. Arcadia, Tom Stoppard. Um, I don't know. I like this one a lot, but I'm gonna put it at not a TBR because I was expecting more like philosophy and stuff from it. It was promoted to me as like sort of this philosophy book, and while it does have some of that in there, it was just kind of like a nice read. It was enjoyable. There's some comedy in there. The comedy was actually pretty funny. And I enjoyed it a lot, but I didn't find it like that insightful. It was kind of like, you learn how like stories get twisted and changed through time. It's really short, but it was enjoyable. But not itching to read more Tom Stoppard. All right, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Don't bother unless you're a really big Harry Potter fan. Like I enjoyed it, but it's not even a real story. It's literally a like encyclopedia list of Fantastic Beasts with like a brief description of each. It'll be like the narwhal, and then it'll have like a description of what they are. So while I didn't mind it, you're not going to gain like anything from it. And I didn't retain any of the information from it. So I would say don't bother. If you're a huge Harry Potter fan, check it out. But other than that, nah. 2001 Space Odyssey, the book. I fell asleep twice trying to watch the movie, but I decided to read the book, and I'm glad I did. It was good stuff. I wouldn't say it's a must read because the ending is ever so confusing, and it does start pretty slow, just like the movie, but great story. And it also explains a lot more than the movie did. So if you watch the movie and we're like, what the hell did I just watch? Read the book. And it's got if you listen to the audiobook, it's got a nice interview with the author. I can't think of his name right now, and I'm not gonna look it up. But he talks about working with Stanley Kubrick and stuff. I really like that stuff. So yeah, 2001, good stuff. The Things, Peter Watts. There's no real cover for this one, so that's why it's just an issue of the magazine that it was published in. But it's a short story about The Thing, the movie The Thing, John Carpenter, but it's from The Thing's perspective. I actually made, God, I'm promoting another video. I made a video essay about it. It's right here. Or on the channel. I don't know how many promotions to put in one video. Not a TBR, but it was really, really good. I wouldn't consider it canon, but it was really enjoyable for what it was. All right. First and Only, Gaunt's Ghosts. This one, I would say, it's the first Gaunt's Ghost novel. I would say not a TBR. I actually think they get better. Not a priority TBR. But, I think the Gaunt's Ghost novels get better as they go. And I think this first one starts off a little rocky for me. I couldn't get into it, but I'm glad I stuck with it. I've read 4 of them now, and they do get better. But not to say it's a bad book, but just because I know what's to come in the series, I gotta say, not a TBR. Let's grab one from my favorite Legion, Alpharius, head of Hydra. This is about the Primarchs, Alpharius and Omegon. Um, for me, this is a must read. I really like the Alpha Legion. They are my favorite Legion in 40k. They're just so cool, and I like all the spy stuff. It's a must read. I really like getting in the head of Alpharius and kind of learning why they're so secretive and how he came about. And plus, it was pretty new lore at the time that I read it. So, and I wasn't just getting the 40k, but I didn't know as much as I know now. I read it really early on this year or last year, and it was really cool to see like uh, what's his name, Malkador, the Sigilite, and Alpharius interacting and stuff like that. It was dope. And Horus shows up. You don't get a lot of dialogue from Horus and a lot of the stuff. Um, let's go. Last Harry Potter-esque book. Tales of Beetle and Bard. I would say this one's good. I was a fan. It's just like children's stories that are like told in the wizarding world. Like if you were a wizard, you would grow up with these stories instead of like Cinderella and stuff. And I found them good. I really enjoyed those. I really didn't have high expectations for that one. I was actually more excited to read the other two. It came in like a 3-pack, but Tales of Beetle the Bard ended up being my favorite. Infinite End of the Vine, Necron 40k book. Really good. It's hard. I'm not gonna put it in must read. I really do like the Necrons. They're like one of my favorite factions in 40k. But this one has some comedy to it. And if you just learn what Necrons are, you could read this one. You don't have to know anything about the larger 40k world, actually. I mean, maybe if you knew some stuff about Tyranids, it would make a little bit more sense, but the comedy between Trazen the Infinite and whatever his name, the Diviner, was really good. They're basically like two bitter old men that are just like at each other's throats and always trying to one up each other. And it was really fun to read. And the ending, bonkers. It was crazy. Let's get into some Junji Ito. Deserter. Okay, I gotta be careful. I don't want to say too much about these Junji Ito novels. Well, not, manga novels. I don't know how you would say it. Because I got something planned. Got something planned for him. So sneak preview, but I don't. Stay tuned to the channel. I'll be making some more content with my Junji Ito stuff. But Deserter, not a priority TBR. It was. I don't know. If I go back and read it, I'll probably change my opinion. But every time I read one, I'm like, oh, that was amazing. And then I compare it to the rest, I'm like, less amazing. Not as priority TBR. It was good, but some Junji Ito stuff I really love, and that wasn't one of them. Let's get into some trash. Homeroom for Ghouls. This is like a one-off manga. I had downloaded the Viz app, and I was just trying out different manga, and this was like literally one issue, and it was gross. There's like pedophile stuff, and it didn't sell me on the premise anyway. Trash. Don't even waste your time reading that. Another one from the top 5 list that I did, Hell's Reach. This was incredible. I think this is by Aaron Dembski Bowden. Yeah, it is. Amazing. I love sieges, as I said in the other video, and it did not disappoint. One of the best siege stories I've ever read. I still need to read 16 Ways to Defend a Walled City because I heard that one is also really good, but Hell's Reach was great. Let's get some more masterpieces out of the way. We haven't had another one in a while. 1984, George Orwell. Obviously, a masterpiece. Incredible look at an authoritarian society. And while I would still say that Brave New World is better at displaying its point, this one, I like the story more than Brave New World, but the execution of what it's trying to say is a little worse than Brave New World. But this one is just more enjoyable as a book. And they're both masterpieces. But yeah, this one is like, the story is super entertaining. I also heard the movie's pretty good as well. I haven't watched it. Maybe I will. But yeah, masterpiece, obviously. Conrad Kurz, The Night Haunter. I'm honestly not a huge Night Lords fan. I don't find them that compelling as a Legion. I just realized I was supposed to be doing left to right. We can, I guess, real quick. I'll do it after I place the Night Haunter. I'll rearrange them. I'll cut it, but I'll rearrange it so you guys can, so it's correct left to right, and I'll remember to do that for the rest of the video. But Night Haunter, not a priority TBR. I did like it, but even for such a short book, I think it dragged a bit. I don't really care about the stuff with the Night Lords Legion, and maybe that's just me because I'm not a Night Lords fan, but I really just wanted to learn more about Kurz, and having stuff with his Legion was like, I don't really care. Okay, I've rearranged them to accurately reflect their standings within each of their own tiers. So the further left they are, the better I think they are. So First Heretic, best of must read. Galaxy in Flames, worst of must read. Still in must read, but yeah, you get it. You guys are smart. Betrayer. This is the sequel to First Heretic. Honestly, I thought it was worse. I had heard it was really good, but I love the stuff with Korn and Angron, but I still like the First Heretic more, even though I like the characters. But the stuff with Angron was so good. I don't really care about the World Eaters as a Legion, but Angron, one of my favorite primals. I'm still gonna put in must read, and I will put it above. I'll put it right here. Right. I'll put it right here. Angron deserves to be higher. It's not as good as Hell's Reach, but yeah, that's a good spot. Horse Rising, first Heresy book. False Gods is the second Heresy book. I always get confused and think it's the first one. Yeah, it goes and don't bother. I would say it's better. Wait, why is Hell not down here? Get back up there. I would say it's better than just a list of Fantastic Beasts, but mm, it was. I really wasn't too much of a fan of False Gods, to be honest. It almost made me kind of stop the series because it was just such a different vibe. But honestly, um, picked up again. I don't know if I'm in the majority in that statement, but the character development was weak, and that's kind of what that book was all about. But it wasn't compelling for me. Horse Rising. This is the first Heresy book. Um, goes like goes like right here. Not a TBR. It's okay. It's kind of weird way to introduce you to the world, and I just don't care. I like Loken, Garvio Loken. I was trying to remember his name. I like Loken, but honestly, and Torgodon, is how you pronounce it, whatever how you pronounce it. But the rest of them, eh. Horus isn't a great character, and that doesn't sell it great. And yeah, it's a good book, but there are better 40K books, obviously, as we've seen. Priory of the Orange Tree. I know a few of you have been eyeing that one. It's been sitting down there for a while. This one's hard for me because I don't. I enjoyed it when I read it, but there's just so much better fantasy out there. I did like a lot of the story. Like I like Tane and Eid, but all Nicholas Rue should not be a character. I still hate him as a character. All of his stuff could have been given to Lot. Is that his name? Lot? Whatever. The I'm so bad with names. Whatever the other character's name is, should have been given to him, and I think the story would have worked a lot better. So I'm gonna put it right behind Doom Messiah. Good stuff, but it was okay. It was good. No, it was better than okay. It was really good, but I think it could have been done a little bit better. Lords of Silence. This is a Death Watch. No, Death Guard. Sorry, Death Guard. Not a priority, but it was pretty enjoyable. I'm gonna put it just below First and Omen. I had a lot of fun reading this one. I like the Death Guard a lot. I find their pre-heresy stuff better than their post-heresy stuff, but it was just cool to see how a legion that's like essentially walking diseases that are near unkillable, and the human stuff is actually good in this one. I usually don't enjoy the human elements of 40K books where they just follow a normal person, but that one was really good. So yeah, Lords of Silence right there. The only good Indians I'm gonna get I'm gonna get hate for this one. Don't bother. I did not enjoy this book at all. I didn't like the prose or the writing style. I didn't find it scary. Um, the character development stuff was pretty good, but uh, I don't know. I don't know why it's such a universally loved book. I really don't. I didn't care. I didn't find it that compelling. No, just don't bother. I'm probably in the vast minority saying that, but don't bother with that one. Um, okay, let's see if I can do the Cradle books in order. I can't, I can't see. Oh, okay, I'm pretty sure this is Unsold. Um, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure this is Unsold. Cradle, great series. Me and Drake are probably going to do a tier list just for these whenever I finish reading them and the 12th book comes out. Unsold, it's hard to place it because the beginning of the series got a lot of setup. I would say it's good stuff, just barely in the good stuff um, category. It's really fun. It's like the opening, like I said in the I was talking about Black Flame, but in my top 5 video, it's like the beginning of a manga, or an anime. You know it's gonna be good, but you don't know if it's you don't know where it's going, but still really enjoyable. Now the second one, um, which is Soulsmith, I would say Soulsmith's really good because you get introduced to Ethan. A lot of people think this was like a weaker of the weaker Jesus, one of the weaker Cradle books. I don't know if I agree with that. I actually liked it a lot. I'm gonna put it right behind Unsold because I liked it a lot. I know that some people don't like the prison segment and stuff, but I did. I thought it was fun, and I liked seeing him like work really hard to progress. Not to spoil anything. The main character works hard. I hope that's not a spoiler. Next is Black Flame. This is a must read. This is going right here. Black Flame was awesome. The introduction of like Orthos and kind of seeing how the world of Cradle works on a wider scale. So good. This was like where I knew, oh, I want to binge this series. Like I want to get to the end. And then like the day after I read this, like by 2 days later, I had finished Sky Sworn. Which, speaking of Sky Sworn, Sky Sworn, putting it like I'm putting it like right here. I did not like the Sky Sworn as like a faction. It was okay, but it was a little disappointing for me. I was really hyped at the end of Black Flame. I didn't like the direction it went. Towards the end, it kind of picked up, but it felt like it was dragging its feet for a lot of that book. Liminal Zone. I'm gonna put it between the Unsouled and Soulsmith. Yeah, it's really good. This is one of the Junji Ito standalone manga stories. It's like not episodic like the others are episodic, but they're sold all together. But this is like a single story, and I liked that a lot. Good stuff. Again, I don't want to say too much about the Junji Ito stuff because I'm going to be doing something with those. I don't want to spoil it. Let's do one more Junji Ito. I think I have more on here. Yeah. Love Sickness. This is a must read. It's hard to place. I'm put it right below the Attack on Titan anthology. Love Sickness was so good. I didn't really like the cover art, so I wasn't expecting. I don't know why I wasn't expecting to like it just because of the cover art, but it was one of the last. It's one of the last Junji Ito. I think it's the last one I actually have bought. No, Liminal Zone is the last one I bought recently, but Love Sickness blew me away with how good it was. I did not expect it to be such an incredible book. It was so compelling, and the horror element of this one was really, really good. If you like horror manga at all, I think Love Sickness has got to be a must read for you. Let's see, Shiver. Do another Junji Ito while we're feeling it. I'm actually put this one like here. I don't know. This one just felt. Normally, there's kind of like a theme with these connected volumes. It just felt like a loose collection of stories. Like maybe they kind of dug too far into the catalog of his stories to create this one. It felt disconjointed. But still good. The individual stories are good. I just didn't get like an overall message from this one. Okay, wherever I put Hereticus, wherever I put Xenos, Malleus goes like right behind it. Slightly less good. This is the Eisenhorn trilogy, and I accidentally didn't add one of them to the tier list. I'll Photoshop it in there in post, but for now, yeah, Xenos. It was good, but I don't know. It's not really what I'm looking for from the Inquisitor stuff, to be honest. It's good on its own, but as an Inquisitor story, I don't know. I'm gonna put it right here above Shiver. I keep putting stuff in the middle, but that's where I feel. A little bit less than Lords of... a little bit better than Lords of Silence. So, Xenos right here, Malleus, like in between these two, I would say. I didn't like Malleus quite as much as Xenos, but that's fine. Let's go another 40k here. Legion is, to be honest, it's hard not to put Legion in trash. I was so disappointed because Alpha Legion is my favorite Legion, and the book about them is so filled with this Cabal stuff that's not even canon anymore. I was really disappointed. I'm gonna put it at the end of Don't Bother. Probably my most disappointing read of the year, if I'm being honest. Maybe I'll make a video on them. I don't know. Burn the Witch. I think it's by the creator of Bleach, I believe, made this. I would say it's at the top of Don't Bother, just because I wasn't compelled. But it's a short series, and if you're a fan of that author or create, I don't know what you call a manga author, are you just really into? I'm not that into manga. If you're more into manga, you'd probably enjoy it more. But yeah, I couldn't get into it. I read the whole series. It's on like 5 volumes. It might still be publishing. I just read what was out at the time, but I couldn't get into it, to be honest. We Have Always Lived in the Castle, Shirley Jackson. I'm gonna put this in must read. I'm gonna put it. Yeah, second. Second in must read. This should show how much I love the first Heretic, but yeah, We Have Always lived in the castle. I can see myself rereading this yearly, if not if not more. I fell in love with this story after I read it. I have a video on it. Another promotion. Um, Amazing story. It's incredible. I don't want to. I speak about it so much. I don't want to repeat myself, but just super cozy, super dreadful. I love the atmosphere of this book so much. I think I have another Shirley Jackson. Yeah, Haunting of Hill House, her most popular story, I would say is actually not as good as We Have Always Lived in the Castle. It was still really good, but I had read this one right after We Have Always Lived in the Castle, so I'm gonna put it at the top of good stuff. Not quite a must read, um, just because I like the direction that We Have Always Lived in the Castle went in more than Haunting of Hill House. Still a great book, but I don't think quite as good, so I'm put at the top of good stuff. Super Mega Save the Troops. Just a comedy book by the YouTube dynamic duo Super Mega. It was really good. I expected it to be worse for like kind of like I never read a pure comedy book, and it was pretty funny. If you enjoy their brand of humor, I wouldn't say it's a priority. I wouldn't put it quite in good stuff. Let's be realistic here, but I'll put it right under, yeah, right under the things. It was good, but it wasn't like mind blowing. And the comedy is like, it's like silly comedy, so it's not gonna make you bust out laughing or anything. But it was a fun little journey. Yu-Gi-Oh, the first like manga set. This is what this represents. So like the whole first series of manga, like the first, what is it, like 60 chapters, or maybe it's even more than that. I don't Googled it. 38 volumes, so quite a lot. Um, it was good. I was just kind of looking. I was reading some manga. I was looking for that nostalgia you get from watching the show, but the manga is so different that I didn't get that at all. It's okay in its own right, but honestly, I didn't know it was so different, and it kind of took me by surprise. And I was just looking for a nostalgia trip, so I didn't really get that. So I'm gonna put it not a TBR. I'm put it between Fisherman and Hellmouth. Probably if you grew up reading the manga first and then watched the show, you might have different feelings than me. But for me, uh, I prefer the later Yu-Gi-Oh mangas, which I'm still reading, which are more inclined with the card game and not just like this random evil Egyptian dude who's like torturing people who play games with him. So it's definitely a trip if you watch the Yu-Gi-Oh show and then you read this. It's so different. Let's go with The Shining. This is going to be another controversy. I can feel the dislikes. I did not like The Shining. I thought the movie was better. I think I'm in again in the super minority with that. Not trying to be a contrarian. I don't like Stephen King's writing style. I don't know. It doesn't connect with me, I guess. Not bad. Again, obviously I can recognize it's really good. I'm not gonna put it. I'm not gonna try not to disrespect it here, but I'm trying to think like what would I would personally rather read Super Mega Saves the Troops again. No, that's a lie. We'll put it right above Sky Sworn. That seems fair. That seems fair. I did really enjoy the stuff with Jack, um, but I don't know. Like I said, it just didn't connect with the writing. So let's get back to Gaunt's Ghosts. Ghostmaker, kind of like an origin story. It was really weird to have as a second book. I think I did enjoy it more than the first. I'll just put it right here, but it was just weird to have like the origin be the second book. But I really did enjoy. This is what I wanted from Inquisitor stuff. When we're talking about like Eisenhorn, I wanted like intimidating ass Inquisitors, and we got that in Ghostmaker. And let's just do the last Eisenhorn book, Hereticus. Um, I'd say it's better than Xeno. I liked I liked Hereticus a lot. I like seeing them, like, he really bends the rules in this one, and I like seeing people be able to fight against and control chaos because we never see that in 40k. So I'm gonna put it right behind Recursion. It's not like it didn't blow me away or anything, but it was a good book. Not quite good enough to get into the good stuff category, but it's at the top here. Death Note. I really like Death Note, both the anime and the manga, and I like the manga's ending a lot better than the anime. It's slightly different, and I gotta put this at must read. I'm putting it all the way over here. Yeah, nah, right here. I know some of the dialogue is like super cringe, and um, some of the art's a little like iffy because it's so long. I guess they had to like make some of the scenes less detailed and stuff. But just the overall story of Death Note is so fun to follow, and you just want to see who gets to the end, and it was incredible. I love the journey that you go on with Light and L, and the Shinigami and all that. It's such a good story. Everyone should. That's why it's in must read. But everyone should at least watch the anime. The manga's amazing too, but you know, anime's easier to consume. But at least watch that. Um, all right, let's go on a 40k speed run. Let's get the rest of the 40k. Necropolis, the third Gaunt's Ghost book, was amazing. I don't even like Hive City stuff. Every time they start talking about that in 40k lore, I kind of tune out. But again, it's another siege story. I'm a big siege guy. Apparently, I've learned that about myself this year. But incredible. And then like Gaunt like actually exercising his commissar powers, not like powers like a superhero, but like his authority was so fun to see. I'm gonna put this right above Priory. Uh just because it's a siege and I'm a big siege fan. And plus the action in this one was so good. I usually like kind of get distracted when 40k starts getting into action because there's usually so much of it in the book. I just start like skimming it, but this one I found like really compelling, and it's about human characters, so it's a little easier to follow than like fighting a horde of Tyranids. Like, how do you imagine that in your mind? The last Gaunt's Ghost book that I have read, Honor Guard. Honor Guard was pretty good. It was a much different vibe than all the other 40k books. I really did. You do get like some answers to like some of the overarching stuff that's been happening in the Gaunt's Ghost, and this actually made me learn about where Gaunt's Ghost happens in the 40k like overall timeline, and I enjoyed that a lot. I'm gonna put it right above Hereticus actually. I was a big fan of Honor Guard, and though I do think it's hard because it's better than First and Only, but I think you kind of start to have like characters become like caricatures of themselves in this one. It's just something that happens to characters over time. They become like hollow versions of themselves. I do think you get a little bit of that in this one, but Gaunt remains amazing, and I think that's all that matters. Project Hail Mary. I'm kind of biased with this one because I listened to the audiobook, and it was so freaking good. Ray Porter was so good in the narration. I think if I would have read it, I said this in my, oh my god, another video I made. Ray Porter's delivery and stuff was so good. I couldn't stop listening to this book. It's like 16 hours. I think I listened to it in like 3 or 4 days. I was burning through this one. So let's see. It definitely goes. Well, no, I don't know quite if it's a must read. I'm gonna put it right behind. Yeah, right behind Haunting of Hill House. I'm a huge sci-fi fan, so sci-fi is always going to be bumped up a little bit for me. But I think anyone would really enjoy the story, especially the audio version. Perhaps the written version, I wouldn't have put it so high, but the audio version, incredible. Okay, took a little break from 40k. Now we're back at it. Flight of the Eisenstein. That was really good. I'm gonna put it right beneath Black Flame. Fly of the Eisenstein, you get Death Guard stuff, pre-Heresy, which I love. Nathaniel Garro is an amazing character, and you get to see Rogel Dorn, and like, I think you see Malkador as well. You get to see some of the bigger characters in play, and like just like the characters holding to their own and like their sense of honor, despite everything that's happening with the heresy and the like survival of like trying to survive in space without resources and just like alone on this dying ship and so good. Flight of the Eisenstein, incredible 40k book. Master of Mankind. This one's hard for me because as far as lore goes, it's a masterpiece. You get so much about the Emperor, and you never get to learn about the Emperor in 40k. He never does anything. But as far as story goes, and Raw was so good in this one too. But I just don't think the story was executed particularly great. You know, the lore was amazing, but the actual like I was just reading the book to get more lore about 40k. You didn't like I didn't really care about what was happening in the webway and stuff. It's cool to see like a Traitor Titan and stuff like that, but I'm putting good, but it honestly didn't blow me away with the story. I'm gonna put it um, right below Infinite and the. How about Emperor goes right there. Do I have any more 40k books? Oh yeah, one of the. Oh, I have two more. I didn't realize. But Death Watch. Oh my god, this was so good. Um, this is about like a tactical squad of like 4 or 5 Marines going into like a hive of Tyranids and Gene Stealers, and Death Squads are like or Death Watch. Sorry, Death Watch is like super specialized Marines, and I honestly didn't care about Death Watch before reading this book, but after reading it, oh my god, I want to read. I think there's one or two more books about this group of Death Watch, but I just started learning about Death Watch, um, like missions and stuff on my own after this. I did not expect to enjoy this book this much. It was just like I just picked it up at random, and I'm really glad I did. So I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it like right under Priory. I know I just gave it a ton of praise, but it's not. I just expected it. I mean, I liked it a lot more than I'm expecting to. I wouldn't say it like blew my mind in terms of 40k books, but I was pleasantly surprised. All right, Day of Ascension. Adrian Tchaikovsky, my favorite author, wrote the Children of Time series. Um, to be honest, I was a little disappointed. I was expecting I was expecting like Children of Time level stuff. I didn't get that, but it was still a good story anyway, and it was cool to see the Gene Stealers get some personality. They're normally just like the villain, like they are in Death Watch, but you get to see a little bit, some actual characters, and it kind of like showed their thought process and how their society kind of works. So, I would say it's good stuff. Definitely good stuff. I'm gonna put it right behind, right behind Tales of Beetle, right there. It's pretty short, and the Mechanicus stuff I found really weak. I don't think they really captured the spirit of how the Mechanicus kind of operates in this one. I found that a little distracting, but besides that, uh, all the Gene Stealer stuff was great. All right, Swan Song, our monthly book club book for December. This I did not have high hopes for at all. I thought it was. I mean, I didn't expect it to be bad, but I did not expect it to become one of my new favorite books. It was so good. I don't know. New favorite's kind of strong, but it was so damn good, bro. Let's put it right here. Right here, right above Alfaria. I keep knocking Alfaria's back, but that's all right. So good, amazing. Like I cannot praise the character work in this book enough, and also just like what's happening in the book. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's more than just a nuclear apocalypse. It was incredible from start to finish, and I've never had 1,000-page book feel like 300 pages. I was tearing through this one once I actually got like started and like got into the main plot. There's a lot of setup, but once you get through that, you're gonna be thankful for that setup because it makes the overall story even more compelling. A lot of Junji Ito left at the end here. Let's do Censor. Censor was actually really good. I like the I like the concept and like the kind of mystical element of Censor that you don't normally get in Junji Ito stories. I'm gonna put it um hmm right right above Day of Ascension. I think I enjoyed it a little bit more. Frankenstein was great. I had never read Frankenstein before. Still might read the actual book, but the artwork in this one is second to none. Like, of course, Junji Ito art is always amazing, but it was so cool to have like a really nice visualization for Frankenstein. I'm gonna put in good stuff as well, right beneath Liminal Zone. And Dissolving Classroom, surprisingly like horrifying. I didn't expect. This is one of the ones where like your main character is evil. That's a little bit of a spoiler, but you learn that within you learn it really quickly once you see what's going on. But it is really short. Not that that's a bad thing on its own, but I'm gonna put it right. I'm gonna put it right beneath Dessert. Not priority. Read the other read obviously like Uzumaki and Gyo and Tomi first. Um, Once you start reading through all the Junji Ito stuff, pick that one up. Okay, whew, we got 3 big boys left for the last 3 here. So, first, Tender is the Flesh. This is a must read. It's gotta be a must read. This made my top 5 again for the the top 5 video, but I love this book. It's so good. I listened to it and read it. Um, the audio version is really good performance, but you don't need it. You can read this one, and it's just such a compelling story. You wouldn't think something so outlandish. You would think it would just be all blood and gore, and story would take a back seat. But no, the story is the most compelling part of this book. I don't know if I'd put it with Swan Song because it's not as like yeah. It's amazing, but it's not like I'm actually put it right under Alforius. We're not gonna knock Alforius back for once. Right there. That's a good spot for it. It is definitely a must read though. Ender's Game. I gotta go must read again. This was our first book club book, actually. There's a video on it right here. Don't watch it though, it's really bad and trash. And we weren't used to talking to each other in a podcast setting. But super good book. Still haven't read the second one, Speaking for the Dead. Haven't read that one yet, but I heard it's even better than Ender's Game. I'm glad I didn't read this one in high school, actually. It's meant for, like, I would say a little bit of a younger reader, but I mean, not like 10 years old, but probably, 15 to 18 is what it's aimed at. But still an incredible story. It's definitely a must read. I'm gonna say right behind Tinder is the Flesh, to be honest. Um, yeah, great book, Ender's Game. All right, my last book. Whew, has anyone stuck around this long? Okay, this has been a long tier list. We Are Legion, We Are Bob. Absolutely blew me away. The only reason I listened to this book, the only reason I listened to it is because Ray Porter narrated, the same guy who did Project Hail Mary. And I wasn't expecting that much. I just wanted to, experience something like Project Hail Mary. I thought it was going to be like a diluted version. I did not expect it to be incredible. Like, I cannot wait to read the second book. I haven't had time yet, but I'm so excited to read the second book. And I think there's 4 total. And if they're anywhere near this level, this could be one of my new favorite series. It's not. I don't think it's gonna overtake Children of Time, but it could be. It could be number 2, to be honest. It's a must read. I don't know if I'd put it in masterpiece. I may have to go back. Maybe I'll put the whole series as a masterpiece, because if it stays at this level as a series, it would deserve to be in that masterpiece ranking. But I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it at the top of must read. To be honest, it was so good. It's much different than like Tinder's the Flesh and Swan Song. It is like it's not comedy forward, but there are comedy elements. There's a lot of Star Trek humor and stuff like that. But even though it's a comedy book, it is still super compelling and interesting. And there are really dramatic moments, and it keeps you on the edge of your seat for a lot of the book. Plus, it has to do a lot with like space travel and exploration. So you get like this kind of world expanding experience reading through the book. Honestly, it's just one of those you need to experience for yourself and see how compelling a sci-fi book can be. So yeah, uh, top of must read, and that's it. That's the tier list. I just spent a lot of time talking really quickly about all these books. I'm gonna need a glass of water. Um, yeah, that's about it. Let me know. Feel free to yell at me in the comments about why I put The Shining so low. I think I can put a link to this tier list, like undone, in the description. So I will do that. So if you want to just rank these books on your own, you can click the link and do it. Do it yourself. Send me a screenshot on Discord or Twitter, and tell me why your tier list is better than mine. I would love that. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching the video. A lot more pause and read content to come this year. I think Drake is actually releasing a video this week, like a solo video. He hasn't done that before, so that'll be exciting. That's about it, guys. See you next time.